Okay, exactly. So a cause, we're writing this down, is a reason why being the key word, and Josh, that's your third correction, so at the very least, you're going to get a referral in the last spot. So, reason why an event or action occurs. Okay? The cause is the reason why an event or action occurs. The second thing here is the effect. If the cause is the reason why, the effect is the result or consequence. Okay, it's the result or consequence of the action or event. Okay, it's the result or consequence. Thanks so much for taking down the notes. Okay, so we're going to be looking inside of our text today and going over these thinking steps right here to find cause and effect. Now the very first thing we're going to do is identify single words. And I can guarantee you, because I took it straight from the text, that you'll see the word consequence in paragraph 17 or 18 that we're going to look at. So let's open up our packet to paragraph 17. Okay, paragraph 17, Kelsey and I are going to switch. And we're going to have Destin read paragraph 17. We're going to have Anissa read paragraph 18. Make sure you're following along with them, looking for that word consequence as we read. Go ahead.
Starting in 2014, images of desperate people crammed onto boats as they tried to cross the Mediterranean began to appear on TV screens. The migrant crisis soon upended European politics, unleashing a wave of far-right populism and anti-migrant rhetoric.
The European Union began pulling up the strong rhetoric, the base plan of around the legality and morality of the South Republic, but its darkest consequences were often a great secondary sins of not by Africans entrenched in the world.
So we see in what paragraph the word consequence?
18.
Okay, so I'm going to box this because this is a signal word. A signal word tells me the text structure that I am reading. A consequence, would that go more with the cause or with the effect?
Effect.
Okay, right, the effect. So I'm going to write that here. This helps me know that inside of the text, it's about to discuss the effect. And sometimes it's a little bit easier to find the effect and then think about why it's happening. So here we have a colon, and I'm going to assume, because I'm a good reader, that the specific consequences is listed after the colon. Because that's usually why you'd use a colon, to give your specific reason. So right here, I'm going to underline the tens of thousands of black Africans entrapped in a growing slave market. So there's a consequence here, and it seems to be that people are becoming part of a slave market. So after I underline that, I'm going to go back to my packet and write in the effect box, many Africans are being sold, or, and you'd know this if you read, or they're selling themselves into the slave market. Okay, so that information came earlier in the text, the selling themselves part. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, let me do that. Many Africans are being sold or selling themselves into the slave market. Sorry, I'm trying to fill out this referral. Okay, so right here, when I'm thinking about the effect, the cause is the reason why. So I'm thinking, why are Africans being sold or selling themselves into the slave market? So I'm going to go back into paragraph 17. Okay? And the first thing I notice in paragraph 17, Cameron Rayford, is that the migrant crisis upended European politics and it started anti-migrant rhetoric. I'm going to label that C1. What's anti-migrant rhetoric is the idea that they said, you aren't part of our country, we don't what?
Want you.
We don't want you here. And so we can see that it's not only in the United States that we're like trying to build a wall and keeping out people, it's also in Europe where they have this same sort of feelings. This is a global problem. So that's cause 1. I'm going to wait for 6 hands. Read the first sentence of paragraph 18. What is cause 2? Waiting for 6 hands. What is cause 2? All right, let's hear from Demetrius. What's cause 2? What policy? What are they? So explain that. Demetrius, what's that mean? They're trying to stop the boats. Okay, say that a little louder because you're right. Okay, specifically carried to where? Europe. Okay? So, that's the cause. Those are 2 causes we see in the text, and that's normal. Sometimes there's more than one cause or more than one effect. So I'm going to write here in my A leads to, okay, when the migrant crisis occurred, okay, when the migrant crisis occurred, many Europeans when the migrant crisis occurred, many Europeans became anti-migrant. Therefore, Europe stopped allowing boats to come to their shore. Okay? So when the migrant crisis occurred, many Europeans became anti-migrant, and therefore Europe stopped allowing boats coming to their shore. So if it's just a fun fact here, if you're stuck in Libya, it's not really fun actually. If you're stuck in Libya and you can't get to Europe, what's really the only options you have left?
Slavery.
Right. You gotta basically sell yourself in the slave trade and hope the slave trader will eventually let you go where?
Europe.
Okay. So that's why people are stuck. So, just to reiterate here, the first, what's up? Just a second. The first thing you're going to do when you read for the independent practice is find what? Well, I'm sorry. The signal words, right? I can guarantee you, because I purposely wrote a signal word from the text in this list. So find that first to help you. That'll help you find the cause or the effect. It'll actually help you find the effect. Okay, so you're going to turn the page. Because on Friday's test, it'll be multiple choice, I've given you specific areas and specific questions instead of you having to determine it on your own at first, okay? So we have 12 minutes here to do questions 1 through 4, silent and solo. I'll be coming around in a minute and a half to be looking that we already have question 1 mostly complete.